Hello, and a warm welcome to our show, Love Athletics. In this program, we bring you the latest highlights from our sport with expert input from different continental areas. Now, we were going to start the show with the review of the highlights of the national championships held in most countries between 27 February and 1st of March, but last night in Uppsala, pole vault royalty convened at the Mondo Classic, and 8 jumpers there had PBs of 6 meters or more, and the greatest of them all, Mondo Duplantis, took back not only the world lead, clearing 6 meters 31 on his first attempt, just as one jump had been sufficient for all previous heights, 565, 590, and 608. But of course, 631 was also his 15th world record for the Swedish superstar, and the second one set in his home country after the 6 meters 28 in Stockholm last June, but achieving it in his home meet and to the sound of his new song, Feeling Myself, made it extra special. That mark is worth a humongous result score of 1,353 points. Only 6 men's performances in history have a result score of 1,350 points or more, and Mondo owns 2 of them, as does Usain Bolt, while the other 2 belong to 2 javelin throwers. So here they are. The very best is the 98 meters 48 javelin world record by Jan Zelezny, which is worth 1,365 points. Number 2 is the 100 meters world record of 9.58 by Usain Bolt, which is 1,356 points. Then the second best ever performance in the javelin by Johannes Vetter, worth 1,355. And then Mondo with his most recent pole vault world record, 1,353, as we said, which is 1 point more than Usain Bolt's 200 meters world record, and 3 points more than Mondo's previous world record of 6 meters 30. And it's really very interesting that French sports daily L'Equipe has an article this morning by Annabelle Rolnan focusing on Mondo's speed, which we also in action at the ultimate race, the 100 meters showcase against Karsten Warholm in Zurich in 2024. The Swede explains that his training is now based essentially on speed, while technique has taken a back seat as he only jumps every 10 days to 2 weeks. Now, of course, having accumulated thousands of jumps since he started vaulting at a very young age, that part now comes almost automatically. Do check out the article because it's really worth the read. And with Mondo continuing to progress and Manolo Karalis reaching new territory, as we will see, this can only get better. So back to our original order. Before Uppsala, the highlights of the fortnight had come from the national championships, which saw a world short track record and a world short track best, as well as road races with another world record, plus student athletes in the US competing at regional conferences ahead of the NCAA Division I and II championships starting today. So let's look at then at the very best from the national championships, held, as we said, 27 February to 1st March, starting with the US. At the US ATF Indoors, top marks came from field events and sprints, with some surprises in the middle distance races. The very best performance came in the pole vault, where Zachery Bradford after 5 clearances at 5 meters 90 that far in 2026, broke 6 meters for the first time, improving to 6:01. Chris Nilsen and Casey Lightfoot completed the podium, both vaulting 5:85, with Nilsen winning the jump off for the second spot on the US team for the World Indoors. Another excellent result came from high hurdler Dillon Michell, who equaled Trey Cunningham's world lead of 7.37, and at 27 years of age will make his first US team together with Cunningham, who was 6th in Glasgow Indoors in 2024. Fresh world record holder Khaleb McRae confirmed his good shape, dominating the 400 meters in 45:01, ahead of hurdler Chris Robinson, 45.36, who was part of the US 4x4, which won gold at last year's World Relays in Guangzhou. In distance races, Olympic and World Championship gold medalist Cole Hocker won a tactical 3,000 meters with a dramatic finish over Yared Nuguse, as Nico Young missed out on selection by just 1/100th of a second. The next day, however, Hocker could not pull off the same feat in the 1500, won by Nathan Green, the 2023 and 2025 NCAA champion, over Lutkenhaus, the World Indoors bronze medalist last year in Nanjing, as the more titled Nuguse and Hocker faded to 4th and 5th respectively. So while testifying to the depth of US middle distance running, the result posed a potential problem, as neither Green nor Hauser had achieved the qualifying standard for Torun. So they had to chase it the following weekend in Philadelphia, which they successfully achieved. In a tactical 800 meters, Cooper Lutkenhaus, who only turns 18 on 19 December, took a convincing win in 1:46.68, just 15 days after setting the world under-20 record and moving to number 6 on the senior all-time list. Another surprise came in the 60 meters, won by double NCAA indoor and outdoor sprint champion Jordan Anthony, ahead of Trayvon Bromell with the 6.47, with Noah Lyles only 3rd with 6.51 and off the World Indoors team. There was another excellent sprint result when 16-year-old Dillon Michell ran 6.59 in the 60-meter heats behind Trayvon Bromell, qualifying for the final where he was 7th with 6.60. 6.59 is the new world under-18 best, taking 0.5 seconds off the previous mark, which had been set last year by his compatriot Tate Taylor. Among the women, performances were not as strong. The best came from shot putter Chase Jackson, who heaved her implement to 20 meters 44, a US indoor record, and then the second best mark of 2026 for the 2022 and 2023 world champion. And among the women, distance races came with a surprise, as Emily Mackay clocked 8:30.01 overall PB to defeat Elle St. Pierre in the 3,000 meters, pushing the second, the 2024 World Indoor Champion, who is making a convincing return after giving birth to her second son in May 2025. Mackay had taken World Indoors bronze behind St. Pierre 2 years ago. So we'll see if the American duo can again shine in Torun among the global stars. But the best performance of the fortnight before the Mondo Classic had come from another national indoor championships from Greece, where Manolo Karalis had cleared 6.17 meters to become number 2 in the all-time lists, surpassing pole vault legends Renaud Lavillenie and Sergei Bubka, and adding a whopping 12 centimeters to his indoor PB and 9 centimeters to his overall best. Not content with the win, the World Championship silver medalist even attacked the new world record height of 6.31 meters with a solid attempt. Now that is territory which had seemed off limits to anybody not named Armand Duplantis. The pole vault always was, with the 1,500 meters, my favorite event. And with Manolo now challenging Mondo, it becomes even more thrilling. Next, Italian indoors. High point there saw the world record and vindication for race walker Francesco Fortunato, who set a new world record over the 5,000 meters short track race walk with 17:54.48. The gold medalist at the marathon race walk mixed relay at the 2024 World Race Walking Championships had already improved that mark last year, but the performance was not ratified as there were not enough judges. This time, Fortunato was even faster, improving the world record, the official world record of 18:03.83 by Russia's Sergei Shirobokov, as well as his own 17:55.65 from 2025. The other highlights from Ancona came from underage athletes, and we will mention them when we review the under-18 top marks. Ukrainian indoors saw a best ever race walk performance by 33-year-old Ludmila Olyanovska, the 2015 World Championships bronze medalist at 20K, clocked 19:53.61 over the 5,000 meters race walk. But for women, the official record distance indoors is 3,000, so her mark is a world best and not a world record. Olyanovska's performance is over 8 seconds faster than the previous best set outdoors back in 2014 by Italy's Eleonora Giorgi. Other interesting notes from national championships included, from Poland, a high-quality men's 800 meters won by one of the best athletes this year, Maciej Widerka, in 1:44.76 over Filip Ostrowski, 1:44.90, and they will have extra motivation at the World Indoors in front of home crowd. The other highlight came from high hurdler Jakub Szymanski, the Euro Indoors champion last year, who clocked a 7.40 to become the best European that far. From Bulgaria, we must highlight the versatility of long jump world leader Bozhidar Saraboyukov, who won 3 events at the Bulgarian Indoors. On day 1, he had won the triple jump with a 16:61 PB. And on a very busy day 2, Saraboyukov won the long jump as expected. One jump at 8:12 was sufficient, but also added 8 centimeters to his high jump PB from 2022, clearing 2:28 on his for his third crown, a mark which makes him number 11 in 2026 so far. So really impressive. From Germany, the best came from Olympic shot put champion Yemisi Ogunleye with an outright PB of 20:37 to take her 3rd national title. From Ireland, there was a surprising 8th place for Andrew Koskaren in the 3,000 meters, a distance where the 25 World Indoors sixth placer, boasts the third best time of 2026. He was, however, still selected by Athletics Ireland to represent the Green Isle at the distance at the World Indoors. So that's it for national championships. And on that same weekend, students in the US were busy with conference championships ahead of the NCAA Division I and II championships this weekend. As at US ATF champs, the best results came in the sprints, topped by Garrett Kalund, the 2023 Pan Am Under 20 200-meter silver medalist, has reached a new level this year. After his 20.12 in Albuquerque on 6 February, on 28 February at the Big Ten Championships, Kalund further improved to 20.06, climbing to number 3 in the all-time short track list. Two more excellent marks came from the SEC Championships. Among the men, Nigeria's Samuel Ogazi, who only turns 20 in May and was a 400-meter finalist at the Paris Olympics, improved from 44.85 on 7 February to 44.72 on the last day of the month to move to number 10 on the all-time lists and shave 0.02 of a second off the African indoor record set by his compatriot Ezekiel Nathaniel a year ago. There was another African indoor record at the SEC Championships, this one over 60 meters, as another Nigerian, Kayinsola Ajayi, won the conference with 6.45, the second best time this season, which equals the continental best set back in 1999 by Ghana's Leonard Miles Mills. Among the women, the best result came from British Virgin Islands' Adaejah Hodge, the 2024 World Under 20 200-meter champion and 100-meter silver medalist, who clocked a world-leading 22.32, shaving 1/100th of a second off her PB from 2023, which was then a World Under 20 record. The final mark I would like to highlight came from the Big 12 Championships, where 18-year-old Amir Thompson dominated the 200-meter final in 20.40, equaling the number 2 under 20 performance of all time set by LaShawn Merritt back in 2005. As well as national championships on that busy weekend, and as we saw conferences, there were also the South American Indoor Championships held in Cochabamba, Bolivia. Brazil, the continental powerhouse, dominated the competition as expected, but there was also some glory for other countries. Among the women, the best technical mark came from Brazilian sprinter Ana Carolina Azevedo de Jesus, who ran a championship record of 7.09 over 60 meters. Overall best points score of the championships. Her area record is 7.05 run outdoor on 18 February. The other two top performances came from Colombian athletes. Natalia Linares in the long jump with 6 meters, 0.73. She was, of course, the World Championships bronze medalist. And in the 60-meter hurdles, another Colombian, Maria Fernanda Murillo, ran in 8.01. Among the men, the best marks came in the 400 meters by Brazil's Mateus Lima. He was 6th at the World Indoors in 2025. From Marcos Herrera in the 60-meter hurdles with 7.57, and from Gabriel dos Santos in the 60-meter with 7.56. The medal table and placing table, of course, reflect Brazil's dominance. Brazil won 15 gold medals, 14 silver, 7 bronze, for a total of 36. Now, if you look at second placed Bolivia, 3, 3, and 3, that's 9 total medals. It's really amazing how Brazil totally dominates the continent. Colombia also had 3 golds, but 2 silver and 3 bronze. Then Peru, 2 golds, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Ecuador, 1, 2, and 1, also a total of 4. Argentina, who used to be very strong, 1 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze. And Chile, 1 gold and 2 bronzes. 7 countries won gold, and 9 countries won at least 1 medal. As for the placing table, again, huge dominance by Brazil with a total of 298 points against 96 for Bolivia, 75 for Colombia, 58 for Argentina, Uruguay 49, Peru 39, Chile 33, and Venezuela 25. Now, back to indoor meets. More fireworks at European meets after the national championships weekend, starting with the ISTAF Berlin on 6 March. The very best result came from shot put world champion Jessica Schilder, who added 20 centimeters to her world lead with a best of 20 meters 69 to equal her PB from last year, which was then the longest indoor throw since 2013. The Dutch woman is unbeaten in 2026, as is Polish hurdler Jakub Szymanski, who improved his PB to 7.37 and joins Cunningham and Beard as the 2026 world leaders at the top of a very crowded 60 meters hurdles list. More great results followed the following day at the Perche Elite Tour in Rouen. Together with middle distances, pole vault has provided the best performance of 2026, and the trend continued in Rouen, where Manolo Karalis notched up another win with an excellent 6 meters 06 and also attacked 6 meters 20, with the first 2 attempts being close. The Greek was, however, pushed hard by Norway's Sondre Guttormsen, a finalist at the last Olympics and World Championships, who first equaled his 2023 national record with 6 meters, then also cleared 6 meters 06 to join Sam Kendricks and Steve Hooker as joint number 6 in the all-time list. Women, however, continue to struggle to soar high, with 2024 World Indoor Champion Molly Coddery prevailing on countback with 4 meters 70 over Slovenia's 2025 World Silver medalist Tina Šutej. Road events also took center stage in the last 2 weeks, starting with the Tokyo Marathon on the first day of the month. Excellent results there, especially among the women, where former world record holder Brigid Kosgei dominated the race with a winning time of 2 hours 14:29, the second best career mark and 7th best of all time for the now 32-year-old Kenyan, just 25 seconds off her 2019 world record in Chicago. Kosgei and Kebede had broken clear of the pack by 10 kilometers when Kosgei surged before 35K to close over 2 minutes ahead of her nearest competitor, Ethiopia's 21-year-old Bertukan Welde, who improved her PB to 2 hours 16:36 in only her 4th race at the distance, while another Ethiopian, Hawi Faisa, was over 3 minutes adrift with 2:17.39, outsprinting compatriot Sutume Asefa Kebede, who had been among the favorites and was awarded the same time. Among the men, it was a very different story, as 4 men remained closely huddled at the forefront at 40 kilometers, but the reigning champion, Ethiopia's Tadese Takele, kicked as they reached the finish line, closing in 2:03.37, just ahead of Kenya's Jeffrey Toroitich Kipchumba, credited with the same time, while 2024 London Marathon winner Alexander Motizo Munyao was just 1 second behind. The very best results from the roads came, however, a week later on 8 March at the Lisbon Half Marathon, where Jacob Kiplimo, triple world cross champion and 2020 World Half Marathon champion, confirmed the roads are more congenial to him than track, pulling away from Kenya's Nicholas Kipkorir after 15K to close in 57:20, 48 seconds ahead of Kipkorir with 58:08, with another Kenyan, Gilbert Kosgei Kiprotich, a further 51 seconds behind. Kiplimo's mark improved the official world record of 57:30, belonging to Ethiopia's Yomif Kejelcha since October 2024. The Ugandan had already run faster, 56:42 on 16 February last year in Barcelona, but the mark had not been verified. Course was not fully compliant with World Athletics rules. The women's race was not as fast, but Ethiopia's Tsige Gebreselamia, who earned minor medals at the 2023 and 2019 World Cross in the under-20 races, and is a regular contender also on track and road races, achieved her third best performance by result score, clocking 1 hour 04:48, 4 seconds faster than her mark in Houston last January. On the same day, the Nagoya Women's Marathon was held in Japan, but cold and windy conditions prevented top marks. Sheila's Chepkirui retained her title in 2 hours 21:54, just 2 seconds ahead of Japan's Sayaka Sato. So that's it for road races, but let's move to another aspect of road events, race walk. At the Chinese race walking Grand Prix held in Taizang on March 1 and 2, the best mark came in the men's half marathon race walk, where Chinese teenager Shi Shengji had led from the start and surged after some 8 kilometers to remain alone at the head of the race, further upping his pace to extend the lead. Olympic 20K champion and 35K silver medalist Caio Bonfim attempted a surge of his own, but could not reach Shi, who signed his first major victory in an excellent 1:22:33, the 8th best time so far in the new discipline, with the Brazilian 27 seconds behind in 1:23:00, considerably slower than his time in Yamanishi's world record race in Kobe on 15 February, and Zhao Xiangfeng 10 seconds behind. Now, she had already tasted success last year in the mixed relay, teaming up with Yang Jiayu, the Tokyo Olympics and 2017 World Championships 20 kilometers champion, who is the wife of his coach, to win the event in Taizang last year, as well as at the National Games last November. However, Yang is now on maternity leave, so she focused on individual glory and found it. On day 2, the day of the marathon distance, the performance was not as fast, with Gao Yan Long clocking 3 hours 02:50 for victory. Women's race were also not of such a high standard. China's Zhang Yunwan took the half marathon in 1:31:39, while another home athlete, Chen Mengyuan, won the marathon race walk in 3 hours 24:48. On 7 March in Dudince, Slovakia, the next leg of the race walking tour Gold saw slowish races and some surprise winners. In the men's marathon race walk, Hungary's Bence Venyersan, who so far had only won at national championships and at 30 had never made the national team, triumphed in 3 hours 03:45, the best mark by a European so far this year, after walking solo from the last 10 kilometers. Pre-race favorite, the now 37-year-old German Christopher Linke, who had finished 5th at the Rio and Tokyo Olympics, placed 3rd with 3:05:44, beaten also by his compatriot Karl Junghans with 3:04:33. The other major upset came in the women's half marathon race walk, where in a battle between Latin American walkers, Peru's Evelyn Inga took a rare win over compatriot Kimberly Garcia Leon, the double 2022 world champion and 2023 35K silver medalist, with 1:33:49 to 1:34:17. Mexico's Alexandra Ortega looked set to take the win, being almost 1 minute ahead of the pack, but was called to sit out a 2 minutes penalty in the penalty zone after 3 red cards. However, once released, she forged ahead to take 3rd place ahead of a tiring Paula Mirena Torres of Ecuador, the Tokyo World Championships 35K bronze medalist, who, with Garcia Leon, was the other pre-race favorite. In the men's half marathon, Sweden's Perseus Karlström, who boasts 4 minor medals at the World Championships, took an easy win in 1:24:58, leading from the very start, with Finland's Jari Jokinen closing far behind in 1:28:17. The women's marathon race walk saw another Latin American winner, as Mexico's Sofia Ramos led a solitary competition from 6 kilometers, closing in 3:33:57 over Spain's Laura Monge Martinez in 3:39:11. So that's it for the review of the past 15 days. It's time now to go back to the global overview of our sport and check all the best results since the last show, starting with the senior men's events. As always, we continue adding in brackets marks which are regular, which are listed on the respected website Tilastopaya, but do not appear on World Athletics lists. So in the men's 60 meters, we have an outdoor mark of 6:46 by Jamaica's Kishane Thompson, and also the 6:45 equaled African indoor record by Kayinsola Ajayi, also 6:45 as we saw for Jordan Anthony, and 6:46 for Malaki Snow. 200 meters, excellent performance of 20:06 by Garrett Kaland in Indianapolis, but also 20.28 for Jelani Watkins and 20.30 for Garrett Kaland in the heats in Indianapolis. 20:31 for Wanya McCoy of the Bahamas, and 20.37 for Trilly Banks Rose, also in Indianapolis. 400 meters, we mentioned Samuel Ogazi's 44.72 African indoor record. And in New York, 45.01 for world record holder Khaleb McRae, while in College Station, 45.06 for the USA's Jordan Pierre. 600 meters, an interesting mark from Miles Brown, 1:14.67, moves to number 7 on the all-time list. 800 meters, the two marks that make the top list this fortnight was the duel at the Polish indoors between Maciej Widerka, 1:44.76, and Filip Ostrowski, 1:44.90. 60-meter hurdles, as we said, the top spot is getting crowded after Trey Cunningham. Also, Dylan Beard and Jakub Szymanski ran in 7.37. Trey Cunningham had clocked a 7.38 in the heats and 7.40 in the finals in New York. And Jakub Szymanski also had a 7.40 at the national championships. There's also a 7.41 on Tila Stopaya by the USA's Bradley Franklin in Lexington. Pole vault. Now, I have to prepare all the material 24 hours ahead, but of course, the pole vault top lists are now headed by Mondo Duplantis with 6.31 meters. Then the 6.17 by Manolo Karalis at the national championships, which moves him to number 2 of all time. Manolo Karalis and Sondre Guttormsen both cleared 6 meters 06 in Rouen. Zachery Bradford 6:01 at the USATF championships. Sondre Guttormsen shows his form ahead of the World Indoors with 6 meters in Uppsala last night, and 5 meters 90 for Baptiste Thierry in Aubière on 1st March, for Curtis Marshall and again Baptiste Thierry on 7th March in Rouen, and also for Zachery Bradford, Sam Kendricks and Curtis Marshall on 12th March in Uppsala. Half marathon, as we said, a world record of 57.20 for Jacob Kiplimo. There's also a 58.00 by Michael Kiplangat Temoi of Kenya in the Roma Ostia on the 1st of March, which would be number 8. It was his debut, which makes it especially interesting. But the course is a point-to-point course, so it cannot be considered in the top list. Behind Kiplimo, 58.08, as we said, for Nicolas Kipkorir. In the marathon, we mentioned Tokyo, good marks, 2 hours 03:37 for both the winner Tadese Takele and runner-up Jeffrey Toroitich Kipchumba, and 1 second behind Alexander Munyao, with Daniel Matejko a further 6 seconds behind. Mukhtar Idris 2:04.07, and Idris Awani, the World Championship bronze medalist from Italy, placed an excellent 6th and improved the national record. 5,000 meters race walk. We mentioned Francesco Fortunato's world indoor record. In the half marathon race walk, we also spoke about youngster Shi Shengji with 1 hour 22:33. That's number 8 on the senior all-time list. And World Athletics does not yet have under 20 all-time lists for the new event. Behind Xi, Caio Bonfim, Zhao Xiafeng, and Zhang Xinrui. So that's it for the men. Let's take a look at the women. One of the best marks of the fortnight, we mentioned over 200 meters, 22.32 for Adaejah Hodge. Over 3,000 meters, Emily Mackay's victory over Elle St. Pierre at the USATF Championships. The shot put has shown some very interesting results. World leader Jessica Schilder improved by 20 centimeters to 20 meters 69. Chase Jackson 2024 at the National Championships, and Yemisi Ogunleye of Germany 20.37 at the German Championships. 10K road races, far from the very best mark by Brenda Jepchirchir in Valencia, but a very good performance by Adaejah Hodge, 30:01 in Bilbao, Spain, and also 30:15 by Brenda Jepchirchir in Canberra in South Africa. Half marathon, we mentioned in Lisbon, Tsige Gebreselama, 1:04:48. There is also a mark of 1:05:12 by Ftauzerai of Ethiopia, which is not yet in Paris, which is not yet on the World Athletics list. In the marathon, the results, of course, are all from Tokyo Marathon. 2:14:29 for Bridget Kosgei, 2:16:39 for Bertukan Velde, 2:17:39 for Hawi Feza, and also for Sotume Asefa Kebede. And finally, the 5,000 meters world indoor best in race walk by Ludmila Olyanovska of the Ukraine with 19:53.61. So, what are the best performances of 2026? Among the men, there were 3 new entries from the fortnight. The very top, which is not on the screen, but we've spoken about it at length, is the 6 meters 31 world record by Manolo Duplantis. Second is Cole Hawker's mile, number 2 of all time on 14 February in Winston-Salem. Number 3 of the year, 6 meters 17 by Manolo Karalis at the Nationals. Then the world record by Josh Hoey on 24 January in Boston, followed by the mile 3:47:55.7 by Cameron Myers on the 1st of February. The third new entry is Jacob Kiplimo's world record in Lisbon. Then more middle distance performances, 2,000 meters Hob Kessler, 1,500 meters split for Cole Hawker in Winston-Salem. The mile short track performance by Yared Nuguse on the 1st of February. And number 10 is the half marathon race walk world record by Toshikazu Yamanishi of Japan. Grant Fisher's mark over 2,000 meters has now been pushed out of the top 10 by Mondo's world record last night. Among the women, there's just one new entry among the best performances of 2026. So they remain 10K Brenda Jepchirchir and Likina Ameba in Valencia on 11 January. Then Keely Hodgkinson's world record in Liévin. Another 10K mark in Castellón by Caroline Makandi-Gitonga. And in the marathon, that's the new entry, 2:14:29 by Bridget Kosgei in Tokyo. There was also a previous mark of on the 10K, which dominates the women's best performances list in Castellón by Nelvin Kipkemboi, also Claire Ndiwa Chaltudida, and in the marathon, Lois Chemnung half marathon 1:04:01 from 15 February is the last of the 10 best. So that's it for the seniors, but lots of great performances also from underage athletes over the past fortnight. So let's take a look, starting with the under 20s. Outdoor performance, over 60 meters, 6.52 by Jamaica's Gary Card, moves to equal number 3 in the under 20 all-time list. Over 200, we've already mentioned Amir Thompson in Lubbock on 28 February, 20.40, but also 20.50 in the heats. There's also a very good mark at the Czech Underage Championships, 20.65 by Tomáš Horak, who moves to number 13 equal on the under 20 all-time lists. Among over the 400 meters, Jonathan Sims in College Station, 45.23. That's the third best under 20 mark of the year after his own world under 20 record of 44.62 and his other great performance of 45.04. Also in College Station, 45.36 for Jaden Mims, 45.52 for Jonathan Sims in the heats in College Station on 26 February, and a performance which is on Tilastopaya but not World Athletics, 45.62 by Jack Stadelman on 28 February, which would be number 11 on the under 20 all-time list. 500 meters, Quincy Wilson improved his previous best, which was 1 minute 00.56. He improved to 1:00.22, which moves to number 7 in the senior all-time lists and number 2 under 20. Even though World Athletics doesn't have a specific all-time list for under 20s, if you look at ages, that's the second best ever in that age category. 800 meters, Cooper Lutkenhaus continues to shine after his 1:44.03 World Under 18 record and his previous 1:45.23 area record at the USA TF Championships. He ran 1:46.68 in the final and 1:47.00 in the heats. 1:47.19 for Matthew McKenna of Great Britain in Glasgow on 28 February moves him to number 17 in the under 20 all-time list. 60-meter hurdles, another great mark by Liezra Brown, 7.57 in the heats and College Station, equaling his best mark from Clemson on 13 February. He also ran 7.64 in College Station on 27 February in the final. Jashon Lloyd, 7.65 in the heats in New York at the USATF Championships, and 7.69 on 14 February in Lubbock. 60-meter hurdles on the on the under 20 height of 99 centimeters. Zacheus Brox, who, according to Tila Stopaya, had a best of 7.57 on 18 January in Ann Arbor, improved on 28 February to 7.56. Interesting mark in the discus throw, 64 meters 67 for under 18 athlete Joshua Gerber of South Africa. He moves to number 3 on the under 20 all-time list. Now, World Athletics does not have under 18 all-time lists with senior implements, but if you look at the ages, he would be number 2 on the under 18s because there's another athlete, Nestarenko, who was also 17 at the time. Half marathon race walk, we mentioned Shi Sheng-ji at the Taizang race walking event, 1:22:33, is number 8 on the senior 2026 list. And of course, with a brand new event, we don't yet have all-time lists. Among the women, very good marks by US twins. Mia Maxwell, 7.13 on 1st of March in New York, and her twin sister Mariah, 7.14. Mariah moves to number 11 on the under 20 all-time list. Athalia Hixinson of Guyana on 26 February in College Station, 7.16, was then number 14 equal on the under 20 all-time list. And the same result, 7.16 by Thayana Lee Terrelong of Jamaica on 28 February outdoor in Kingston. And again, a 7.16 by Mia Maxwell on the 1st of March. 200 meters, 22.80 by Elise Cooper on 26 February in College Station. That's better than number 12 on the under 20 all-time list, but she already has number 6. And in the heats, she had run 22.83. 400 meters, another great performance by Nigeria's Choma Ajunwa. That's an under 20 area record, 51.67. She also moves to number 7 in the under 20 all-time list. And a mark on Tila Stopaya, 52.16 by Olivia Harris of the US on 15 February in Clemson, which would be number 14 equal on the under 20 all-time list. Then 800 meters short track, Živa Remić of Slovenia. She had already clocked a wonderful 2 minutes 00:73. At the national championships, she clocked 2:01.45. And on 28 February in New York, Paige Shepard, also both these athletes are actually under 18, 2 minutes 02.35, moves to number 16 in the under 20 all-time list and number 3 among the under 18. 100 meters, 1,000 meters short track, 2 minutes 40.78 for Charlize Trinity McKenzie of the US in Winston-Salem on 24 February, number 7 on the under 20 all-time list. In the mile, a 4 minutes 33.60 performance by Mary Nyaboke Okwaka of Kenya, moves to number 16 on the under 20 all-time list. 60-meter hurdles, 8:05 by Madeline Cooper, ties the number 11 on the under 20 all-time list, but she already has number 4. And then an excellent performance by Italian under-8 athlete Alessia Succo, 8.08 over the senior hurdles. She moves to number equal 20 on the under-20 all-time list, and that's the fastest ever recorded by an under-18 athletes over the senior hurdles. And she ran that time twice at the Italian Championships, both in the heats and in the final. 10 kilometers road race, 31:11 for Ethiopia's Nigsti Molla on 7 March in Bilbao. She moves to number equal 7 on the under-20 all-time list. And finally, for under-20s, 4,450 points for Finland's Enni Virjonen in the pentathlon on 1st of March in Espoo. And she moves to number 13 on the under-20 all-time list. Let's move now to the under-18s. We already mentioned the 6.59 by Dillon Michell on 1st of February at the US Nationals, which is a world under-18 best. That was in the heats, and in the final, he ran 6.60. Over 100 meters, Tilastopaya has a mark of 10.19 for Dillon Michell on 7 March in College Station, which would be equal number 9 on the under-18 all-time list. 60 meters hurdles, this over the under-18 height, this event had been dominated so far by Jared Ejasian and El Jairo Philipsen, but there were 2 good marks by Spain's Nicolas Ceballos, 7.66, moves to equal number 11 on the under-18 all-time list, and the same mark for Belgium's Jan Geirnert, who of course also moves to equal number 11. Discus throw, as we said, 64.67 meters for South Africa, Joshua Gerber, number 3 in the under-20 all-time list, and that would be number 2 among the under-18s. In the 10K race walk, 40:15 for Zhang Haoze of China in Taizang, moves to number 10 on the under-18 all-time list, while just behind him, Shi Yusuan with 40:19 moves to number equal 11. Among the women, Kelly Douala at the Italian Nationals, 7.21. That equals the number 6 in the under-18 all-time list, but she already has the equal number 4. And in the heats, she had run 7.29. 200 meters, this is not on World Athletics, 23.37 by Cameron Daly, born in 2011, so very young, which would be number equal 12 on the under-18 all-time list, and a 23.47 by Mia Arendel, also born in 2011, which is number 17 on the under-18 all-time list. On the 800 meters, we mentioned Živa Remić, 201.45, and Paige Shepard, 202.35. Now, it's interesting that with such young athletes, the Italian team for the World Indoors will include Kelly Douala, but Živa Remić decided with her coach, she had originally been selected on the Slovenian team, but she and her coach decided to decline the invitation. Over 3,000 meters, 9:13.90 for Spain's Lucia Rodriguez, moves to number 15 on the under 18 all-time list. Then 60-meter hurdles over the senior height. As we said, twice 8.08 for Italy's Alessia Succo, the fastest ever by an under 18 on senior hurdles. And outdoors over the under 18 height of 76.2 centimeters over the 100-meter hurdles. Excellent mark by South Africa's Megan Niemann, who with 13.02 moves to number 8 on the under 18 all-time list. So that's it for the review of all the best performances. And I would like now to highlight some cool athletics news, starting with congratulations to Czech hurdler Petr Svoboda, who has now improved the master 40-plus world indoor record over the 60-meter hurdles 3 times in as many weeks. The 2011 Euro Indoor champion at the distance, now aged 41, first broke it with 7.84 on 14 February, only to lower it 2 weeks later to 7.78, and again on 4 March to 7.74. Another master world record, this one among women in the 55 to 59 age group, came from sprinter Christine Bloomfield, who represented Britain at the 99 World Championships in the 100, 200, and sprint relay, who improved the 60 meters mark to 7.97. Congratulations also to running legend Eliud Kipchoge, who announced the first 2 dates of his Running World Tour, a series of 7 marathons across all continents. The double Olympic champion will start at the Cape Town Marathon on 24 May, his first ever marathon on the African continent. Kipchoge declared, "Africa is where my journey as a runner began and where the foundation of my success is deeply rooted. To start this world tour in Cape Town is very special. It's about celebrating the strength of African running and inspiring the next generation." Then on 12 July, the former world marathon holder record will be in Brazil at the Porto Alegre Marathon. No longer chasing records, Kipchoge can still do so much to inspire other athletes to achieve their very best. From a marathoner back to another sprinter, congratulations to Côte d'Ivoire's Marie-Josée Talou-Smith, the silver medalist over 100 and 200 at the 2017 World Championships and a final over at least one distance at every edition since, including Tokyo last September, who has been nominated vice president at the Côte d'Ivoire Athletics Federation. She will be specifically responsible for identifying and guiding Ivorian athletes living abroad to join the national team. And finally, congratulations to the organizers of the Paris Half Marathon, held on Sunday, 4 March, who eliminated all plastic bottles and cups, including so-called eco cups, replacing them with water fountains and handheld shower heads. The 50,000 competitors had been told to bring their own water containers, which could be refilled but at the hand showers. French sports daily L'Equipe wrote that the innovation aimed at reducing the race's carbon footprint as dictated by Paris municipality environmental guidelines was globally well received by participants and will be repeated at the Paris Marathon to be held on 12 April. Though elite runners there will still have their personal drinks at refreshment stations. Comments on L'Equipe's social media platforms showed mixed reactions. Some wondered why this practice, adopted years ago in trail running, had taken so long to be implemented in road races. Others complained that the pressure on the shower heads was too strong, making it almost impossible to drink or fill their containers. Improvements can certainly be made, but a change was definitely necessary. So let's look now at upcoming events as we reach the end of our show. Starting today, 13 March, and following on Saturday, NCAA Division 1 and 2 Indoor Championships in Fayetteville, Arkansas for Division 1 and Virginia Beach for Division 2. The weekend also sees the European Throwing Cup in Nicosia in Cyprus. 15 March is also the Asian Race Walking Championships in Nomi, Japan, as well as marathons in Barcelona, Meishan, China, Seoul, Shanghai, and Taipei. Then, of course, on 20 to 22 March, the World Indoor Championships in Torun. Also on the Sunday, marathons in Rome and in Wuxi in China. 27 and 28 March, the Maury Plant Meet in Melbourne, a World Athletics Continental Tour Gold event. Then a silver event on 28 March, the 10 in San Juan Capistrano in California. 29 March, marathon in Yangzhou in China. 4 April, Miramar Invitational, World Athletics Continental Tour Silver in Miramar. And from 4 to 6 April, the Carifta Games for under 17s and under 20s at the Kirani James Stadium in St. George's, Grenada. 12 April, World Race Walking Team Championships in Brasilia, and also marathons in Rotterdam and Paris. 19 April, more major marathons in Vienna, Istanbul, and Qingdao in China. And on the 20th, Boston Marathon, second World Marathon Majors. So we're now at the end of our show, and it was great reviewing together the events of the past fortnight ahead of the World Indoors, which start in Poland in exactly 1 week and promise to be a thrilling championships. Will new world record holders Mondo Duplantis, Khaleb McRae, Josh Hoey, and Keely Hodgkinson shine again? Middle distance races, unfortunately, tend to be technical affairs at major championships, but there is huge quality in those events, so we may again witness more treats. In any case, can't wait for the event to start. We'll be posting interviews from the pre-event press conference on 19 March and from the mix zone on the following 3 days, so stay tuned. Thank you all for watching, and see you in 2 weeks on Love Athletics for the next full show, where we will review the World Indoors and look together at the highlights, comments, and analysis of what has been happening in our sport over the previous fortnight. Ciao, thank you.